Hi guys, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Iana from Teacher's Treehouse, and thank you for joining me on this video today because it's summertime. It's summertime. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a book that I found to join into the summer book report challenge, which was started by Caffeinated Classroom. If you haven't checked out her channel, I will put the link down in the description below. This month's theme, actually, I think she decided that the whole summer we're just going to stick to one theme, which is empathy. Today's book for my summer book report on empathy, the first one that I have for you is a book called Wishtree. Look at how beautiful this cover is. Like, just enjoy that cover for a second. I love the cover of this book. It's so cute. So this is the front cover, this is the back. It's by Katherine Applegate, who is the same author as One and Only Ivan, which I haven't read that book yet, but I've heard that it is awesome, and I know that they're making a movie for it, which probably won't be coming out this year. It's such an interesting read because the entire book is through the perspective of this tree. Brief synopsis: Wishtree is written from the perspective of this large wish tree. I'll tell you what that means in a second, but it's like 216 years old. You get that feel of looking at life from nature's perspective, and I really felt that the author did a phenomenal job, like getting you to connect to the heart of not only the tree but the animals that live in the tree. And that's where I felt like this story really captivated, that those teachable moments about empathy. The tree starts off by telling you that it has this, that all of nature has this secret, and the secret is that they can talk. They just choose not to talk to humans. It's hard to talk to trees. We're not big on chit chat. That's not to say we can't do amazing things you'll probably never do. Cradle downy owlets, steady flimsy tree forts, photosynthesize. He's right, can't do that. But talk to people, not so much. And just try to get a tree to tell a good joke. Trees do talk to some folks, the ones we know we can trust. We talk to daredevil squirrels, we talk to hardworking worms, we talk to flashy butterflies and bashful moths. Birds, they're delightful. Frogs, grumpy but good-hearted. Snakes, terrible gossips. Trees, never met a tree I didn't like. They've all agreed on this code that you do not speak to humans no matter what. And if you do slip up, don't try to fix it. Let the humans think that they're crazy, because we believe that animals and nature and plants can't talk. So how did this frog just speak to me? I must be insane. So part of their code is to just let the humans believe that they're crazy if you do slip up, and don't do it again. Once you get to the second chapter, you start to learn what it means to be a wish tree. And basically every May, people show up from all over the country, all over the world possibly, to come and tie a wish to this tree. It could be in yarn, paper, whatever they can write their wish on, and then they find a way to like tie it onto the tree. It's been the responsibility of one family that lives across the street from the tree, who's been taking care of the tree and like taking down the wishes after a certain amount of time. And every year that family has been taking care of that. The family now is down to one woman who she has all these different emotions about having to take care of the tree, and it's getting super big and clogging the pipes and things. And so you start to learn all of the issues from the human perspective about this tree, but it's coming from the perspective of the tree, who has watched and learned human behavior for generations. So the second question says, what age or grade would you find this book to be appropriate for? I teach 4th grade, and I definitely would think that it's appropriate for 4th grade, but I would say that you could probably start reading this book maybe even 2nd grade. How would I use this in the classroom is the last question. Definitely would have lots of discussions. I've marked up the text, some of the spots within the book that I thought would be great teachable moments, like on the first page. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I like to just kind of like mark inside the book if I find a juicy word or something where I would feel that with my students I would need to talk more about or discuss. So I just kind of marked up a couple places where I found an opportunity to have a discussion with my students, either about vocabulary, empathy, or like an inference that needed to be made in order to follow the rest of the story. It has really great illustrations. There's not a lot of illustrations, but the ones that are in there are really beautiful. I also was thinking, because of the fact that this is all from the point of view of the animals and the plants, for the younger students, and I'm gonna do this with 4th grade, so I mean you could probably do it with 5th grade also. While I'm reading it to them, like the first couple chapters, I want them to illustrate the characters that we're being introduced to, because there's a couple different families that live in the tree and they don't have like conventional names. There's one part in the story where the tree explains to us how crows like to name themselves, and they'll change their name whenever they decide to. They hear a sound that they like and that's their new name. Like one of the crows, she changed her name to Bongo because there's some kids down the street that have started a rock band and play the bongo, and she really loves the sound of it, so now her name is Bongo. And throughout the story, that can get a little confusing if you're not able to keep track of the characters' names, because the names don't match the type of animal that they are. It just kind of matches something about that animal's lifestyle. For example, like the opossums, they will name themselves after things that are extremely brave, but they cower and they play dead when they're afraid. So it's like the opposite for them of how they name themselves, which is really cute. So I want them to be able, like at the start of the story, I want to take some time and let them just kind of illustrate in a journal or something the setting that the author is giving us, because it stays in the same setting. You're at this tree the entire story, and there's 2 houses that live in front of the tree that it's watched over its entire life, and there's a house across the street. Once the humans start to come into the story, it was really nice to have strong visuals to match what was going on in the stories that the tree was telling. I highly recommend this, guys. This is one of my favorite books now. I will be reading this to my class every year. I mean, I'm the teacher's treehouse. How could I not love a book about a tree that talks? So, do we ever talk to people? Actually talk? That most people-y of people skills? Good question. Trees have a rather complicated relationship with people, after all. One minute they're hugging us, the next minute you're turning us into tables and tongue depressors. Perhaps you're wondering why the fact that trees talk wasn't covered in science class during those Mother Nature is our friend lessons. Don't blame your teachers. They probably don't know that trees can talk. Most people don't. Nonetheless, if you find yourself standing near a particularly friendly looking tree on a particularly lucky feeling day, it can't hurt to listen up. Trees can't tell jokes, but we can certainly tell stories. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. So my recommendation is Wishtree by Katherine Applegate. Beautiful, beautiful book. I hope that you guys pick it up and read this to your class. It's great. It's not too long, 211 pages. I really enjoyed this book. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.